Imagine waking up tomorrow and finding $1 billion sitting in your bank account. Not because you won the lottery, not because you sold a startup, because an investment fund has decided you're the perfect person to buy one of the most profitable businesses on earth, a casino. Sounds like the easiest money you'll ever make. Every game favors the house. Every spin, every hand, every roll of the dice, mathematics is on your side. People voluntarily walk through your doors, knowing they'll probably lose. So how could you possibly fail? Here's the strange part. Some of the wealthiest casino owners in history built fortunes worth tens of billions of dollars. Others spent billions building magnificent resorts, only to lose everything within a few years. The same business, the same mathematical advantage, completely different endings. So today, you're going to find out what really happens when you own a casino, not when you visit one. Because buying a casino isn't a bet on luck. It's a bet on whether you can survive long enough for the math to finally work in your favor, the purchase. Congratulations! The paperwork is signed. The lawyers have left. The wire transfer has cleared. You now own a casino. Standing in front of you is a building covered in thousands of lights. Customers are already walking through the entrance. Slot machines are ringing. Cards are being shuffled. Drinks are being served. Money is changing hands every second. For a moment, it feels like you've just bought your own money printing machine. But then your phone vibrates. Your first notification isn't revenue. It's an invoice. Payroll starts on Friday. Insurance renews next week. The Gaming Commission wants its annual licensing fees, and your bank reminds you that the first loan payment is due in 30 days. You haven't made a single dollar yet, and you're already spending millions. Welcome to the casino business. How much did you just buy? The answer depends on what kind of casino you wanted. Maybe you bought a small regional casino, a few dozen slot machines, a handful of gaming tables, a restaurant, a parking lot, the kind of place locals visit on weekends. That could cost somewhere between $5 million and $20 million, depending on the market, but still within reach for private investors. Or maybe you dreamed bigger. A destination resort, thousands of slot machines, luxury hotel, fine dining, concert venue, convention center, shopping arcade, swimming pools, spas. Now your budget isn't measured in millions, it's measured in billions. The Cosmopolitan in Las Vegas reportedly cost around $3.9 billion to build. Marina Bay Sands in Singapore exceeded $5 billion. These aren't casinos anymore. They're cities disguised as hotels. And here's your first surprise. The casino floor is often only one piece of the business. Owning a casino isn't like owning a store or even a hotel. It's closer to owning a miniature city. Before your first guest even checks in tomorrow morning, electricity is already flowing through thousands of lights. Air conditioning is cooling millions of cubic feet of space. Security teams are watching hundreds of cameras. Cleaning crews are polishing every surface. Chefs are preparing breakfast. IT engineers are monitoring gaming systems. Maintenance crews are fixing machines that broke overnight. The building never sleeps, which means neither do your expenses. And that's when you realize something unexpected. The casino isn't your business. It's your responsibility. So the question is no longer, how much money can this place make? The real question becomes, where does every dollar actually come from? Because the answer isn't what most people think. The next morning, your casino opens its doors. Within minutes, people begin arriving. A retired couple walks toward the slot machines. A group of friends heads straight for the blackjack tables. A businessman checks into your hotel. Someone orders breakfast. Someone else buys a designer handbag from one of the luxury stores downstairs. At first glance, it looks chaotic. Thousands of people, all spending money in different ways. But when you step into your finance office, everything becomes surprisingly simple. Every dollar entering your property falls into one of just a few categories. And here's the first surprise. Most people believe casinos make their fortune from dramatic poker hands or glamorous roulette tables. They don't. Your biggest employee isn't a dealer. It doesn't ask for a salary. It never takes a vacation. It never calls in sick. It simply waits 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The slot machine. Walk across your casino floor. Hundreds of brightly lit machines stretch in every direction. They don't look exciting. They don't attract television cameras, but they quietly generate the majority of gaming revenue for many casinos around the world. Each individual machine may only earn a few $100s a day, but multiply that by 2,000 machines every day, every year, and suddenly you're looking at hundreds of millions of dollars flowing through a single room. It's one of the most efficient revenue engines ever built. And the secret isn't that players always lose, it's that they keep playing. That brings us to the most important concept in your entire business, the house edge. Imagine flipping a perfectly fair coin. Heads, you win. Tails, I win. Neither of us has an advantage. Now imagine changing just one rule. Every time you lose $1. Every time you win, I only pay you 95 cents. Nothing else changes. The game still feels fair, but over thousands or millions odds of flips, the mathematics quietly shifts in my favor. That's exactly how your casino works. Not by cheating, not by rigging games, but by designing every game so that probability slowly leans toward the house. One spin doesn't matter. One lucky weekend doesn't matter. One jackpot doesn't matter. Time is what matters, because your casino isn't betting on today's visitors. It's betting on millions of decisions made over the next 20 years. That's why even when someone wins $1 million jackpot, nobody in your finance department panics. That jackpot was expected, budgeted, accounted for long before the player walked through your doors. To your accountants, it's simply another business expense. The real question isn't who won today. It's how many millions of bets were placed today, because that's where probability takes over. But here's something even stranger. The casino floor isn't actually your most valuable asset. Your customers are. The moment someone signs up for your loyalty program, they stop being anonymous. Every visit, every game, every restaurant reservation, every hotel stay, every concert ticket, every dollar they spend helps build a profile. Not to predict whether they'll win. That's impossible. But to estimate something much more valuable. How much they're statistically likely to spend over time. That number influences almost every decision your business makes. Should you offer them a free buffet, a complimentary hotel room, tickets to tonight's concert, a limousine from the airport? From the outside, it looks incredibly generous. From your office, it's mathematics. If giving away a $300 hotel room encourages a guest to return and spend $3,000 over the next year, that's not hospitality. That's marketing. In fact, many of the free experiences inside your casino are carefully calculated investments. The free drinks, the luxury suites, VIP lounges, airport transfers, private jets for your highest value guests. None of them exist because casinos enjoy giving away money. They exist because keeping someone inside your ecosystem for one more day is often worth far more than the cost of the gift. Which brings us to another misconception. Most people think your business is gambling. It isn't. Your business is attention. Every extra minute someone spends inside your property increases the probability they'll eat, shop, watch a show, book another night, or place another bet. That's why your casino isn't designed like a normal building. Notice how difficult it is to tell what time it is. Notice how one room naturally leads into another. How the hotel connects to restaurants. The restaurants connect to the gaming floor. The gaming floor connects to entertainment. Entertainment connects to shopping. Nothing feels forced. Everything simply encourages one more step, one more hour, one more decision. Your architects weren't just designing a building, they were designing behavior. And suddenly, you realize something that completely changes how you see the business. You don't own a casino. You own an ecosystem. One where every restaurant, every hotel room, every slot machine, every concert, and every smiling employee exists for one purpose: to make staying feel easier than leaving. But if attracting customers is a science, keeping this miniature city alive every single day is something else entirely. Because tomorrow morning, more than 4,000 employees are expecting a paycheck, and every one of them depends on you. Tomorrow is Friday, which means today is payday, not for one employee, not for 10, for thousands. Dealers, hotel receptionists, housekeepers, chefs, bartenders, security officers, surveillance teams, electricians, IT engineers, marketing specialists, valet drivers, accountants, maintenance crews, landscapers, managers. By noon, millions of dollars leave your bank account, and not a single customer has placed a bet yet. That's the first lesson every casino owner learns. The games don't keep the casino running, people do. Then another notification appears: your electricity bill. Casino never sleeps. Neither do its lights. Thousands of slot machines glow 24 hours a day. Massive air conditioning systems keep every room comfortable. Escalators, elevators, hotel rooms, restaurants, theaters, digital displays, commercial kitchens, data centers. Every second, your doors remain open. Your building consumes energy like a small town. Shutting it down isn't an option, because every minute you're closed is a minute you're not earning revenue. Then comes security. From the outside, people see bright lights and entertainment. Behind the walls, they see something completely different. Every gaming table is watched, every cashier, every entrance, every hallway, every elevator, every parking garage. Hundreds, sometimes thousands, of cameras record every movement around the clock. Not because casinos don't trust customers, because they can't afford mistakes. A single incident can cost millions. Fraud, counterfeit chips, employee theft, cheating, money laundering, violence. One mistake can damage a reputation built over decades. Owning a casino means you're not just running entertainment. You're protecting a financial institution that happens to have roulette wheels. Then something unexpected happens. One of your slot machines pays out a jackpot worth over $1 million. The casino floor erupts into applause. Employees gather. Photos are taken. The winner celebrates. From the outside, it looks like a disaster for your business. Inside your finance office, nobody panics, because this payout was expected long before the player ever walked inside. The jackpot doesn't scare accountants. What scares them is an empty casino. The real enemy isn't someone winning, it's nobody playing. By now, you've probably noticed something strange. Almost everything you've worried about has nothing to do with gambling. You're thinking about payroll, maintenance, electricity, compliance, security, customer service, marketing, hotels, restaurants. Gaming tables are only one department inside a much larger machine, and that machine becomes more expensive every single year. Then the government calls. Your annual licensing fees are due. Gaming taxes increase. New compliance rules require software upgrades. Anti-money laundering regulations become stricter. Every suspicious transaction must be monitored. Every employee receives additional training. Every system must be audited. Running a casino casino isn't just expensive, it's one of the most heavily regulated businesses on the planet. Your competitors aren't only other casinos, they're governments. And then the economy changes. Tourism slows, business travel declines, families cut back on vacations, your hotel occupancy drops, restaurant reservations disappear, concert tickets stop selling. Ironically, the roulette wheel still has the same mathematical advantage. Blackjack tables still favor the house, the slot machines still generate predictable returns, but none of that matters if fewer people walk through the front door. The mathematics inside your casino never changed. The world outside did. This is where many owners make their biggest mistake. They assume the house edge guarantees success. It doesn't. The house edge guarantees revenue over time, not survival. Survival depends on something entirely different, debt. And history has repeatedly shown what happens when owners forget that. In 1990, Donald Trump opened the Trump Taj Mahal in Atlantic City. It was promoted as one of the most spectacular casinos ever built. Marble floors, luxury interiors, thousands of gaming positions. The building carried an enormous burden, hundreds of millions of dollars in high-interest debt. The casino attracted customers, revenue flowed in. Yet the financing costs were so heavy that the business struggled almost immediately. Within a year, it entered bankruptcy protection. Games were profitable. The investment wasn't. The casino didn't fail because people stopped gambling. It failed because the numbers outside the casino overwhelmed the numbers inside it. And it wasn't the last time. In 2012, Atlantic City's Revel opened after billions of dollars had been poured into creating a luxury destination. Developers believed wealthy visitors wanted a sophisticated, upscale experience. Instead, they misjudged their audience. Customer traffic never matched expectations. Revenue couldn't support the enormous investment. Just 2 years after opening, the property filed for bankruptcy. The lesson wasn't that casinos don't work. The lesson was much harsher. A great business can still be a terrible investment if you pay the wrong price. And suddenly, the question isn't whether your casino can make money. You've already seen that it can. The real question is much more uncomfortable. After everyone else gets paid, how much is actually left for you? Because that's where the dream either becomes a fortune or a financial nightmare. After months of learning, thousands of decisions, and millions of dollars flowing through your casino, it's finally time to look at the only number that really matters. Did buying this place actually make you rich? Let's start with a regional casino. Imagine you invested around $15 million to acquire and renovate a modest property. It's not on the Las Vegas Strip. There are no celebrity performances, no luxury shopping mall, just a loyal customer base, a hotel with a few dozen rooms, several table games, and a few hundred slot machines. If the business is well managed, it might generate tens of millions of dollars in annual revenue. After payroll, taxes, maintenance, marketing, debt, utilities, and every other expense, a healthy operator could still earn a few $1,000,000 a year. It's not glamorous, but it can be a solid business. Now imagine the other extreme, a destination resort in Las Vegas or Singapore. The purchase price is measured in billions. You now manage thousands of hotel rooms, hundreds of gaming tables, thousands of slot machines, dozens of restaurants, retail stores, theaters, convention halls, a workforce larger than many villages. Annual revenue can reach hundreds of millions or even billions of dollars. It sounds unbelievable until you remember revenue isn't profit. Every extra restaurant creates another payroll. Every hotel tower creates another maintenance budget. Every expansion creates another financing cost. The bigger your casino becomes, the more complex your business becomes. Scale creates opportunity. It also creates risk. And that's why the world's biggest casino companies rarely think like casino companies. They think like hospitality companies, entertainment companies, real estate companies, data companies. They don't ask, how do we get someone to gamble? They ask, how do we create a destination people never want to leave? Because the longer someone stays, the more opportunities they have to spend. Not just at a blackjack table, at your restaurants, your hotel, your spa, your concerts, your shops. The casino attracts attention. The ecosystem earns the money. That strategy transformed people like Sheldon Adelson. He didn't become one of the richest people in America by relying on lucky gamblers. He built integrated resorts where gambling became just one part of a much larger business. His company, Las Vegas Sands, expanded into markets like Macau and Singapore, proving that the real fortune wasn't in owning a roulette wheel. It was in owning the destination around it. That's a lesson that extends far beyond casinos. The most successful businesses rarely depend on a single source of income. They build ecosystems where every part strengthens the others. So, was buying your casino worth it financially? It can be, if you buy the right property, pay the right price, keep debt under control, adapt to your customers, and think beyond gambling. But if you assume the house edge guarantees success, you're making the same mistake that has bankrupted billion-dollar projects, because the house edge was never designed to make owners rich. It was designed to make the business profitable over time. Whether that profit reaches you depends entirely on how well you run everything surrounding the games. When you first walked through those front doors, you thought you had bought a building full of roulette tables. Now you know the truth. You bought a hotel, a restaurant group, a concert venue, a retail center, a security company, a technology company, a logistics network, a marketing engine. And somewhere inside all of that, there just happens to be a casino. That's why some owners build fortunes that last generations, while others lose billions, despite having mathematics on their side. Because casinos were never really about gambling. They've always been about execution. The next time you walk through a casino, look beyond the flashing lights. You'll realize you're not looking at a gambling hall. You're looking at one of the most sophisticated businesses ever created. And if you've made it this far, there's one final lesson worth remembering. Luck decides who wins a hand. Management decides who wins the business. Because the house doesn't always win. The best operators do.